Welcome back to another episode of the Jacksonville Buzz. I am Steve Strum. As always, without the preeminent Colonel Chris Budihas.
I foresaw that.
You did. That's called foreshadowing.
Yes, foreshadowing. Thank you very much.
Tell in the future.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're not here to hear about your future.
No.
We're here to talk about the future of a lot of people that Marshaun Jackson, owner and founder of Mortgage Now, did and took a jump in order to help people in a mortgage company that can look beyond current things and make sure that he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
We had one of his people on another episode.
Rockstar.
Yeah, Will, talking about like how you have a personal commitment to your clients, which actually is what birthed your company. Tell us a little bit about your story, your mission, vision, and values.
Yes, absolutely. First, before I begin, let me go ahead and let you know Will is actually preeminent as well. So he is a preeminent loan officer, one of the best in town. So if you can use that word, I could use that word.
Very good.
Yeah, that's great.
No, but so I've been doing mortgages for over 20 years. Worked for a lot of big banks, saw how things were done right, saw how things were done not so right. I took all that information and said, the goal of Mortgage Now is to put people first. People over profit is the goal. I personally feel if you take care of your partners, your clients, and your team members, success will take care of itself. So I started the business in a way to kind of do everything that I feel is not right with how the mortgage business is run over the past X amount of years. So I kind of created this quote, doing business the right way. So the objective is to make sure we treat our clients, our partners, and our team members like human beings, empathetic and understanding of their situation.
That's great. Matt Higgins wrote a book called Burn the Boats, and the whole idea of it goes back to history, back to the times of the Greeks, where literally you burn the boats, there's no other option. So it sounds like you had a burn the boat moment.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a culmination, or was that a specific event and you said, I'm going to start Mortgage Now?
It was a culmination, but sometimes things do just happen for a reason. There was a moment that triggered it, and I decided to say I've had enough.
Yeah.
And I called the state and said, what does it take to create my own business? And it's interesting because I didn't know what I was supposed to know. I wish I could go back and tell my 2 years ago self, hey, do it this way. But the beauty of all of that is going through the adventure of creating your own business and the ups and downs and the growing pains.
Well, you know what's fabulous about that, Chris? We do a lot of work outside of this show in the business community, Chris and I together. And recently we were having a discussion with a group, and we talked about the difference between that Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. And you're a Gen 1. Like, we're a bunch of Gen 1s here. Chris is, coming out 35 years of military, owns a business. It sounds like you took the leap. I mean, I come from a police and fire family, so a lot of things are different as a Gen 1 that you may not have had as steep of a learning curve in Gen 2. So as you have decided to take this leap, what are some of the things for people that are, maybe not in the mortgage industry, become competition, but gotta make sure put that right there. The producers can put that on a crawl. So one of the things, but for that young man or woman that's thinking, they're going, you know what, I could really improve my business and the way I serve my clients and my customers, what are some of the things that you would tell that young entrepreneur that might be seeing this for the first time going, you know what, if that guy can do it, why can't I?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's cliche, but don't be afraid to fail. It's one of those things that you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I took yoga for 10 years, and one of the phrases that they used to always say was, you don't begin to grow until you put yourself in uncomfortable situations. It's not for everyone, but I would encourage you, go ahead, take a chance. The world doesn't end if we fail. It's a learning process, and it's an opportunity to look back and say, what did I do well, what I do not so well, and then apply it to the next phase of your life. But my biggest advice is don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Go ahead and be uncomfortable. If you'd asked me 2 years ago, would I be sitting on the show with you guys?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even cross my mind. But yeah, I would just say, be okay to fail and be uncomfortable with being, be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
So, as a business owner, what are like one or two biggest pain points? Because you're driving this business. Obviously, you're trying to bring in clientele, make them happy, hopefully spread the word, and you get more clientele, and it builds upon itself and scale the business. How do you foresee that scalability happens? What's one of your pain points there?
The biggest pain point, other than mortgage call reports, that's an inside joke.
We're aware of those.
Yeah. Being a small business owner is the trust factor.
Yeah.
Most people have a relationship with their bank or their credit union. Getting someone to really take a chance on a small group of individuals who genuinely care, may have never heard of Mortgage Now, knowing we have the best product out there, but that person needs to trust Mortgage Now is going to deliver what they promise. So the biggest pain point is just letting people know that, go ahead and take that leap yourself.
Right.
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable, but trust is the most difficult thing.
Well, and as we take it away, what we'll do is we'll make sure to put your stuff on our website, which is thedailynewsnetwork.com, so you go check you out, do all those things. You sound like you've done a lot of research, and sounds like you probably have done a lot of self-discovery, whether it's been yoga. Sounds like you might read a little bit. I think he can read. So, one of the things that, I always have a fun little question for you. What's your favorite book and why?
My favorite book.
And it sounds like you've done so much work in your life. What would you say?
No, it's not. It wouldn't be like some self-help. It would be The Catcher in the Rye.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
It was. I read it. Obviously, I'm like 16 when I read it, but it spoke to me, and that's why they do it, during the curriculum. But The Catcher in the Rye is hands down my favorite book.
Colonel Chris, since we're doing it, don't take mine.
All right, I won't.
Which is yours?
My favorite book. Wow, there's so many out there. I'm going to go back to Burn the Boats because, the great thing about military service, then leaving into the business world, while in the military, then post-military, is the idea of transitions.
Yep.
And I tell folks, like Marshaun's done, you take a leap of faith because God and your experience, and your spidey sense goes off. I'm equipped to do it. I don't know all the answers,
right,
but I have faith in myself, and just as importantly, I've sought other mentors that can help me make me a better version of myself. So with a good business plan and that idea of I got to burn the boats because there's no other option but success.
Right.
You're betting on yourself and the people you work with. So
and if
that's
you're
why I
going
like
to bet
that
on
book.
something, you might as well bet on yourself.
That's right. Mine's core values, because he was going to take it. I know it. No. So this gentleman served both in the Army and in the Marine Corps. One of the best books I've ever, and I've recommended to you, any one of the best books I've ever read about managing business is actually called Core Values, CORPS, Values. Basically, it's a book written through business through the eyes of a Marine. And so very interesting read, and they talk about the 70% solution, right? Because in the military, I grew up in an Army family. In the military, you are in a field of battle, and if the colonel says duck and you debate it, you might die. Period, right? And so it teaches you a lot about the business aspects behind that, not just that battlefield, but listen to the command structure because they know what's going on. You've built a team around you, which will have one of the folks here that's been in this business as long as I've been in the financial services industry, maybe on some technical stuff of what's going on. But at the end of the day, you build a team, didn't know 100% of it, but you knew you had 70% of it. The 30% you're going to make up along the way. As we take it away, the famous Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So anyway, congrats on the opportunity. Thank you for taking time. Chris, I can't do it without you, man. Guys, thanks so much for joining us on the Jacksonville Buzz. If you like us, share us, and remember, live with gratitude.